You don't even notice. How about that? Don't you care about me at all?
Sorry. I do care about you. We all did care,
Kyle. Where's Kyle?
We all were caring about the trade deadline, at least, but it came and went on Tuesday with, well, little fanfare. In fact, the biggest buzz was over trades that really didn't happen, specifically centering around the Jets. Several big names came up in trade rumors, including Robbie Anderson, Le'Veon Bell, and Jamal Adams. As for Adams, the Cowboys inquired about him in trade talks, but nothing came of it. Just the fact his name was brought up didn't sit very well with Adams. In fact, he says he was told he wouldn't be traded, but GM Joe Douglas confirmed he wasn't actively looking to deal Adams.
On the players that were leaked out today, those weren't players that we were shopping. But, you know, where I'm from and what I was taught is when a team calls you, you should always listen to what they have to say. So that's what we did. We listened. We had good conversations. There was some productive conversations. But at the end of the day, you know, there was no fire sale. There's no garage sale going on with these players, and we value these guys a lot. And ultimately, the offers that we received for these players didn't equal the value that we have for them within this organization.
Now, one trade that did go down was the Rams sending corner Aqib Talib and a fifth-round pick to the Dolphins for a 2022 seventh-round draft pick. Talib is currently on injured reserve and will be a free agent after this season. A pure salary dump here. The money saved in this transaction could help in signing a new deal for Jalen Ramsey. The Cowboys and the NFL Foundation pledged $1 million to help rebuild a high school football field and replace equipment destroyed by recent tornadoes. Owner Jerry Jones surprising Thomas Jefferson High School with the announcement Saturday before their homecoming game. There is Mr. Jones himself and the check. Now, there was a lot of people who obviously are still recovering, so it was a nice gesture by the Cowboys there, and you see the faces, how they lit up seeing that gesture there by the Cowboys. As we mentioned, a lot of people who are still recovering right now by recent tornadoes.
And there's lots going on out west as well with the fires, so our thoughts are with everyone. Amazing to see the Cowboys making a difference when they can. Thank you so much, Will. We'll talk to you in a bit. Let's talk Jags quarterback Gardner Minshew. We were all a smile when he came on the show. He visited with us earlier ahead of his trip to London this weekend. You can see that game, of course, on NFL Network. We talked mustaches and jorts being on deck, but here's what he had to say about the game in London and on whether or not he should be the starter for Jacksonville regardless.
You've got a Burt Reynolds Smokey and the Bandit shirt on. What's the craziest thing in your wardrobe, and what are you going to break out when you guys arrive in London coming up for this game when you guys travel there to play the Texans right here on NFL Network?
Yeah, I don't really think, I mean, to me, none of the stuff I wear is that crazy. It's just kind of stuff I like this. Got my Tarzan bandana going today. You know, always have the jorts on deck. You know, going to London, I was hoping we'd get to wear Halloween costumes since we're traveling on Halloween. Have an awesome White Goodman from Dodgeball costume, but I'm afraid it's not going to be able to make the trip, unfortunately.
Gotta go with that.
Yeah, you gotta go with it, man. Patches O'Houlihan, he's a legend, right? He's a legend. I heard there was a Union Jack strap that he's got. No, Union Jock. Union Jock. Okay, yeah, I like that. All right, here we go. Now, Gardner, last time you guys took on the Texans was the first career start, and you guys decided to go for two-point conversion that ended the game, and you missed that. What have you learned since then as a player, and how have you grown since then?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is just getting so much more comfortable, you know, within our offense and seeing so many more looks at this point. You know, really starting to figure out what defenses are trying to do to me. And it's very exciting, you know, to coming back, seeing the film. The second time around, I think we're going to have a good plan to be able to attack these guys.
I like it. We cannot wait to watch. And Gardner, you've obviously been so cool and calm on the field. But there's another situation developing. As well as you've played, it's no secret. Your team invested heavily in Nick Foles this offseason, making him what appeared to be the franchise quarterback. He's been injured. When he comes back and is a clean bill of health and ready to play, how do you expect this to play out?
Yeah, it's something I can't really worry about right now. You know, knowing every halfway competitive guy ever. You know, you want to be the guy out there helping your team win. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, we just want to win, and whatever, you know, we got to do to make it happen, we're going to do it.
Gardner, are you an NFL starter? Are you a starting quarterback in this league?
Well, I am at the moment. I think I will be for a long time, hopefully. So we'll have to see.
I like that.
Loved having him on the show ahead of his trip over to London. It is an AFC South matchup Sunday morning. It's the Texans, it's the Jags. You can see it right here on NFL Network. We know Minshew might be in a bit of a battle for the starting gig, but what about the battle Sunday? Let's break down this game. Gardner outperforming Deshaun Watson. They played already this year. They couldn't get the run game going. Leonard Fournette didn't do great. He couldn't get the two-point conversion. They lose the game. Minshew looked a little better than Watson in that one, but also Fournette looks a lot better at this point in the season. He's running now.
Minshew threw over 200 yards, had 1 TD. Deshaun Watson, 16 for 29, 150, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I don't see Deshaun Watson coming out at this point in the season and putting up a brick like that. I feel like Deshaun Watson is playing at a different level. The way that he willed his team to win this past weekend is proof that any guy he goes up against, he's going to try to outplay. And if Deshaun Watson needs to go out there and throw for 5 TDs, he'll try to do that. If Deshaun Watson recognizes within the defense, I can't get my pass game going and I need to use my legs, he's going to do that as well. So I don't see Deshaun Watson. I don't see him outplaying Deshaun Watson.
It's my natural instinct to talk quarterbacks, right? They've got 2 big stars here. We've got Gardner Minshew, who's this cult of personality that is just taking the league by storm. And then there's Deshaun Watson, who might be one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. And yet, I'm thinking of Calais Campbell, I'm thinking of Josh Allen, and I'm thinking of this Jaguars front going up against that Texans offense, and that might dictate this game. This defense travels. They've done it before, and if you haven't watched Josh Allen, I know we give Bosa a lot of this love, but number 41 on the Jacksonville Jaguars might be a better pass rusher this season as far as rookies go. He's flying all over the field. I think the Jaguars give the Texans fits. I think the Jaguars can win, and based on the back of their defense, not Minshew necessarily.
Well, I think one of the best things Minshew has going for him is J.J. Watt is out now. I mean, that's a huge difference maker in this experience. And I look at Deshaun and Minshew as, I think, 2 guys who are rise to the moment type guys. And we're in London. People are watching. This is the early game. If Deshaun is Michael Jordan, fine. But Gardner's got like some Vinny the Microwave to him. You know, like I can drop 30 like that. I actually think he's going to be very competitive in this game. I actually like Jacksonville to win this game. It's sort of a pseudo home game for them. I think the Jags will win. And I think Minshew's not only playing Deshaun Watson, he's also playing against Nick Foles. There's a lot going. He's going against 2 really good quarterbacks in a sense. Playoff game for him. I think he's going to win.
I actually can't get the pulse of Jaguars fans on this, and maybe it's because they're a smaller market team, but when we talk Cam, there are a lot of Cam supporters who come out of the woodwork and say, hey, you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But we love Cam.
Well, they have no relationship with Nick Foles.
Saying Nick Foles has played 1 quarter for the Jaguars.
It looked great.
Is the loyalty with Foles or is the loyalty with me? And who do you want going forward? It's a debate to be had, but of course, if Minshew wins on Sunday, it makes things a lot more difficult for Doug Marrone to step up to that podium and say, hey, Foles is our guy.
I mean, if you mentioned J.J. Watt not being there, and that's a big difference, you have to mention the fact that Jalen's not there. So now you've got DeAndre Hopkins dressing up as the genie, and Deshaun Watson maybe gets him the ball a little bit more. Isn't that a huge, pivotal game changer in the second time around?
It's big. Yeah, I mean, Jalen doesn't hit Deshaun, you know, but he covers. It's a good point. Like, there's 2 superstars who are missing. So I always think, like, look at that last game. I would throw that out. Like, Gardner Minshew's whole life has changed since that time, and there's a lot of star talent that's not on the field.
I'm waiting for that Hopkins game.
This might be it. Jaguars 2-0 since Jalen Ramsey's no longer a member of the team.
Good. Okay, stats.
Hey,
let's go.
Listen, we're friends with the mayor of Jacksonville. Where's Lenny Curry? What does he feel about Nick Foles versus Minshew? Come on.
I mean, how are you feeling after the trade deadline's gone? Are you?
I'm happy.
Are you?
I'm happy. Teams got flirted with, but no one left the ones they love.
Hey now.
I'm here for loyalty.
Okay, Dr.
About a little action.
Where did that come from? No huge move, sorry. Not much action.
There was lust, but no
Kyle.
Story.